Howdy folks, this is Derek, Leica 101, finally coming back to you with some more YouTube RPG videos. Yeah, 2 thumbs up for awesome. I apologize for not being able to make any videos. My computer, which I had to get a brand new one, which I think I told you about in my last video. But anyway, the problem was I couldn't figure out the new webcam software, couldn't find it, so I had to download some new ones. Anyway, on to what we really want to talk about today. In my first official video back, now that I know and I have this new software, this is actually going to be a video reply to the DawnForgeCast. I don't know how long it was ago, maybe about a month, probably. He posted a video talking about favorite NPCs, and he had a list, so I think it was like 3 or 4. So I am going to share with you my favorite NPCs and give you a little bit of advice or tips or general suggestions on why they were so memorable, not just for me, but for the other players as well. 2 of these NPCs that I'm going to discuss were actually player characters at one point, and have been since converted into NPCs. The first of which is the paladin Pivnivitivik. I know it's a crazy name, we called him Piv. It actually is I think it was the noble gas equation from physics or chemistry, I can't remember. The point is he had a very fun time creating his name, and we had a very fun time whenever this character shows up. He was originally a paladin of the god of Torum, who's the god of justice. And so he, of course, had the classic paladin full plate armor and everything, carried a long sword, and he was a generally great character to see at the table. Now he has since transitioned into, like I said, an NPC. And as an NPC, he has become the left hand, the divine striking, vengeful hand, I guess you could say, of the god of Torum. So he is now a holy warrior who sits pretty much at the god's left hand, and has been seen in campaigns as a guardian and a aid with some knowledges that he can pass on to other players. Why everybody likes him is because he always appears in a grand style, but he's always very humble. The Paladin Piv now wears full golden full plate armor, and he also has a dragon-shaped helm and carries a golden longsword. His eyes gleam gold, and he has no other like color in his eyes. They kind of give off a divine light. Everything around him shimmers in a golden light. But he's the most humble person ever. The last time that a group of players saw him, he appeared out of thin air in front of them. They see the golden warrior, and he takes off his helmet and he goes, "Well, this is interesting." And he approaches the players, shakes their hands as equals, and is like, "Welcome, who are you, what are you doing," etc., because they didn't attack him. And so he then helped them on their quest. And they like him because he's just this awe-inspiring character that they aspire to be. The second character is the gnome professor Aufchicalauf. Again, wonderful character name that has now been transitioned into an NPC. Aufchicalauf, like I said, is a gnome who wears goggles/spectacles that are about this big on his face. And every time he blinks, his eyes are magnified because of these goggles, and every time he blinks, there are these 2 big eyes that go like this, blink, blink, in front of you. It creates a very hilarious spectacle. Now, the other problem, the other thing that makes Aufchicalauf interesting is also kind of a problem. He is a knowledge hound. He knows everything there is to know about everything, and because he was a professor, he tells you about it as if he's lecturing to a class. So you start talking about a magic item, he's like, "Oh yes, the gauntlets of divine protection. They were made in 1412, and they were made by the great Archduke of, I don't know, some crazy some land." And then he'll just keep rattling on and on and on, what these gauntlets do, what they're made of, what their components are. Or he'll keep going about specifics of when a building was created, who created it, what the paintings are for. He just rambles on and on and on and on. So players just kind of have to interrupt him and go, hey, focus. We want to know about this. He's like, "Oh, yes." And so he gets back to topic. So he's a very fun character. And his ultimate goal is to build a flying machine. So he has all these crazy doodads with him and little miniatures that he has like little models of trying to make flying machines, but nothing has worked so far. So he's kind of a failed genius in terms of that final project. So he creates kind of a side comedy, and at the same time is a source of great knowledge if you can find him. The last character I want to talk about is the villain of the infection campaign that I ran, I think it's been a year ago now, and his name is Faust. And Faust is an elven alchemist, and what makes Faust wonderful is that he considers the players in the campaign to be his friends. He has this weird, twisted sense of things, and he sees them not as his enemies, but as a tool to be used, his allies, to then further his goals. That he uses them as inspiration for everything. So he has a very manic personality, and every time that he sees the players or they come to thwart his efforts, he always greets them. The first words out of his mouth is always, "Ah, my friends. It is so good to see you again." And everyone instantly at the table, I don't even have to say anything about the character. All I have to do is say, "My friends," and they all go, "No, it's Faust." And they hate him so much because he always manages to find a way out of things. Because being an alchemist, he always has a secret trapdoor hidden somewhere or some kind of potion to escape from their clutches, and it always upsets them. Now, Faust was eventually killed, but that doesn't mean I can't bring him back. And he's just a wonderful character for me to roleplay, and he's also a great enemy for the players to have to face off again and again because he's smart and because he has that wonderful catchphrase to just instantly draw them in and know who he is. It instantly sets up everything that will be happening for the rest of the encounter. So those are my 3 favorite NPCs that I've ever had in terms of campaigns. And takeaway messages from this video, I guess, could be: create NPCs that are memorable. Sometimes you don't have to create them. Sometimes you can take a player character and turn them into an NPC after the person is no longer playing them. Give an NPC something specific, some general characteristic, one thing about them that makes them special. If you go back and you listen to this video at each of these NPCs, you'll find that there's one thing about them that makes them special. The Paladin Piv, sure, he's got his crazy over-the-top appearance, but it's the fact that he's always willing to help the players that makes him memorable. Alf Chickalauf, again, an outlandish appearance, but he has the knowledge. So if you need knowledge, you go to Alf Chickalauf. If you need a person to help you out in terms of actual combat or something, you find Piv. And Faust, he makes a memorable villain because he's got his catchphrase, and he just instantly fits this role where he can always escape. You never know what he's going to do, and it always creates an emotional response from players. So this has been me, Derek, Lycan 101, finally coming back to you, the YouTube community. You guys have been doing amazing without me, so it's good to be back. Thanks for watching the videos. Be on the lookout for more. Now that I have this program, there will be many more to come. Take care, guys.